Chelsea here. Welcome to a yoga class where we will be laying down for the whole time until the end. And for today's class, having a strap of some sort. If you do not have a yoga strap, you can use a tie or a belt or a ribbon or a leash, but this will be handy. So we are going to get started. So let's lay down on your back, tucking your shoulders under, tucking your chin under, and then we're going to heel toe the feet out to the long edges of the mat, toes pointed in, pressing the outside of the feet down into the mat, and then drop the knees towards the center. So you might need to narrow your stance depending on how long your legs are and how much range of motion you have. Okay, so coming into breath here. So we're going to come into a three-part breath: belly, rib cage, and upper lobes of the lungs. So starting with the belly, hands on the belly, and you can close your eyes or soften your gaze. And we're going to take big breaths into the belly. Feel the belly expand and the hands lift as you breathe in. So you're breathing into where your hands are. And as you exhale, relax your body and let your abdomen fall in with your hands and feel it. Notice it. Be mindful of your breath. Keep the breath long and slow. One more breath here. And then moving the hands to the outside edges of the rib cage. As you breathe into where your hands are. Feel the rib cage expand with the breath in. Feel it retract with the breath out. Press the outside edges of the feet down into the mat. Keep the knees touching in through center. And then bringing the soles of the feet together and close to the groin in a supine Baddha Konasana. We're going to wrap our arms to hug ourselves across the upper chest, left arm on top, right arm on the bottom. So hugging yourself as you breathe in, breathe into the upper lobes of the lungs, and you'll feel the elbows lift as you make room for the air, and then as you exhale, feel them fall. And then switch arms, right arm on top, left arm on the bottom. Again, breathing into the upper lobes of the lungs. out to the side, palms facing up, giving yourself some space. And then bringing the soles of the feet down to the mat again, and then heel toeing the feet out to the edges of the mat. Windshield wipering the hips. So inhaling to bring the knees over to the right hand side. Exhale through center. Inhale to the left. Follow with your own breath. And then coming through center, drawing both knees into the chest, interlacing the hands across the shins, rocking side to side, massaging out the low back. And then slowing the rocking. Left hand, left knee, right hand, right knee. Keep your big toes together. Draw the knees in towards the chest as you exhale. And then as you inhale, bring the knees out to the side and forward. And then switching directions, inhaling the knees out to the side, and then exhaling as you draw them in towards the chest. And when your knees are together, lowering the right foot down to the mat. And we're going to extend the left leg up towards the ceiling. Arms alongside the body, palms facing down. Bend the knee as much as you need to. And then point and flex the left ankle. And then rotate the ankle one way. And then the other. Make sure the core is strong and engaged here, pressing the low back down onto the mat. And then slowing the circles, we're going to draw the knees or the toes towards the shin, press the heel up towards the ceiling, and imagine you have a pencil on the end of your heel pointing up towards the ceiling. And we're going to draw little circles. You press your palms and your arms down into the mat. Keep the core strong. Try to keep your circles symmetrical. And then switch directions. Keep breathing. And then slowing the circles, keeping the shin or toes flexed towards the shin, We're going to bring the left ankle just above the right knee. Coming into a figure 4 on our back, we're going to bring the right knee in towards the chest, interlace the fingers behind the thigh. And as you're pulling the right knee in, you're encouraging the left knee to go away from you. Feeling the stretching through the piriformis, the lateral rotators of the hip. Breathing deeply here, shoulders tucked, chin tucked. One more breath here. And then lowering the right foot down to the mat, cross the left thigh tightly over the right thigh. And then pressing the right foot into the mat, pick the hips up and shift them over to the left-hand side a little bit. Bring the arms out into a T position, shoulder height, palms facing down. And then draw the knees a little bit in towards you and roll over to the right-hand side. And then looking up at the ceiling or over your left shoulder if that feels good for you. So as you breathe in, breathe into where you feel the restriction in the body. As you exhale, feel yourself get heavy. And then looking up towards the ceiling, if your neck is rotated, engage your core and lift the knees back up through center. Press the sole of the foot into the mat, pick the hips up and bring them into the center of the mat. Unwind the legs and bring both knees into the chest, and then rock side to side. Massage out the low back before we switch to the other side. And then slow in the rocking, release the left foot down onto the mat and bring the right leg up towards the ceiling, arms alongside the body, palms facing down, tuck the shoulders, tuck the chin, and then point and flex the right ankle. Core engaged, pressing the low back down into the mat, weight heavy into the pelvis. And then rotate the ankle one direction. And then the other. And then slowing the rotation, pull the toes towards the shin, press the heel up towards the ceiling, heaviness into the pelvis, and then drawing little circles on the ceiling with your heel pencil. Keep breathing. And then switching directions. Keep the pelvis heavy. And then slowing the heel circles, keep the foot flexed, bring the ankle above the left knee, relax the right knee out to the side, draw the left knee in towards the chest, interlacing the fingers behind the leg, tucking the shoulders, tucking the chin. As you're pulling the left knee in, you're relaxing the right knee away. Breathing into where you feel the stretch. As you exhale, feel your body go heavy and see if you can pull that left knee in towards you a little bit more. One more breath here. And then releasing the left foot down onto the mat, and then tightly cross the right thigh over the left. Press into the left foot, pick up the hips and shift them over to the right hand side. Bring the arms out into T position, palms facing down, and then draw the knees into the chest a little bit, and then roll onto the left hip, bringing the knees over to the left. And then looking up at the ceiling, or if it feels good, rotating and looking over your right shoulder. As you breathe in, breathe into where you feel the tension, where you feel the pull and restriction. As you exhale, feel the weight of your body get heavy. One more breath here. And then looking up towards the ceiling, if your neck is rotated, engage your core. Slowly bring your knees back up through center, pressing in through the left foot, pick up the hips and bring them into the middle of the mat. And then unwinding the feet and bringing both knees into the chest. Left hand on left knee, right hand on right knee, and then making circles with your knees. Keep the knees together, the thighs together. Feel a rocking in the low back as you rotate around in these circles. And then the other way. Keep breathing. And then slowing the rocking, bringing the shins parallel to the floor and your thighs a little bit more forward than on top of your hips. And knees at a 90-degree angle. Placing the hands on the thighs, pressing the low back down into the mat, engaging the core, and then pressing the hands into the thighs and the thighs into the hands. Keep breathing. And then drawing the knees into the chest, rocking side to side. And then grabbing your strap and placing it across the balls of the feet and lift the legs up towards the ceiling. Pulling the toes towards the shin, pressing the heels up towards the ceiling, relaxing the weight into your pelvis. Shoulders tuck, chin tuck. Breathe here. One more breath here. And then keeping the left foot tucked, we're going to bring the right sole of the foot down onto the mat. And then we're going to keep the pelvis weighted on the ground and open the left leg out to the left hand side. Keep the right knee pointed up towards the ceiling. You can shift both pieces of the strap into your left hand and then hold your right hip down with your right hand. So opening out to the side as far as feels comfortable, stretching through the inner groin or adductor muscles. Taking a couple big breaths here. Inhale, left leg back up towards the ceiling. And then shifting both sides of the strap into the right hand, left hand alongside the body, palms facing down. And then you're not going to move very far. We're going to stretch the IT band. And so slightly pulling on the inside side of the strap. So instead of the foot being flat towards the ceiling, we're on a little bit of an angle. And then drawing the foot over towards the midline, over to the right hand side, and feeling the weight of the pelvis still very, very heavy. And this is going to stretch out the lateral side of the leg. So for me, this is as far as I go. So it doesn't go very far. And then pressing the heel up towards the ceiling, pulling the toes towards the shin. Weight of the body or the pelvis heavy. Breathing into the stretch. One more breath here. And then foot back up through center. And then the left side of the strap in the left hand, right side of the strap in the right hand. And then bring both of the feet up into the strap again, across the balls of the feet. Pull the toes towards the shin, press the heels up towards the ceiling. Feel the weight of the pelvis heavy. Big breath here. And then keeping the right foot in the strap, bringing the left sole of the foot down towards onto the ground, and left knee up towards the ceiling. And then putting both sides of the strap into the right hand, and then a left hand on the left pelvis. And then bringing the right foot out to the side as you're pulling it in towards you. Stretching out the adductors, the hamstring. Coming out as far as feels comfortable for you, but keep the left side of the pelvis planted down onto the mat. Keep the left knee up towards the ceiling. Core strong, shoulders and chin tucked. Keep breathing. You can relax the right elbow down onto the mat or the ground. And then inhale, back up through center. And then slightly pulling the big toe side of the strap in a little bit more to angle the foot. Both sides of the strap into the left hand, right arm alongside the body or on the pelvis. And then drawing the foot over to the left hand side while keeping the hip heavy, the pelvis heavy. Pressing the heel up, pulling the toes in. Find your edge, don't push it too far. And breathe into it. One more breath here. Inhale the foot back up towards the ceiling. Left strap, left hand, right strap, right hand, and then bringing the left foot up to meet the right. Pulling the toes towards the shin, heels up towards the ceiling. Taking a couple big breaths here. And then bending through the knees, releasing the strap off to the side. Hugging the knees into the chest one more time, rocking side to side. And then slowing the rocking, placing the soles of the feet down onto the mat, close to your glutes, hip width distance apart, tucking the shoulders under, and then coming into robot arms, elbows at 90-degree angle, fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling, palms facing one another, and then coming into a little bridge when we press through the feet to pick the pelvis up towards the ceiling, tuck the shoulders under a little bit more. And then you can stay here, or you can lay the arms down alongside the body, palms facing down, pressing all of the arms down into the mat, or if you have it in your range of motion, interlacing the hands underneath the back. Imagine little bony parts at the front of your pelvis have little strings on them and they're being pulled up towards the ceiling, keeping the thighs parallel. Breathing deeply into this back extension, your glute and hamstring strengthener. You can pull the heels towards the hands, dragging them without actually moving them to engage the muscles and through the glutes and the hamstrings. One more breath here. Unlacing your hands if they're laced, and then slowly unwind the spine down towards the ground, and then coming into your final savasana, extending the legs and letting the feet flop out to the sides. Arms outside, alongside the body, moving away from the body as much as feels comfortable. Palms up, shoulders tucked, chin tucked, eyes closed or the gaze softened. And just allow your body to return to its natural breath. Feel the weight of your body being supported by the space beneath you. Taking a big breath here. And wiggling your fingers and toes. And reaching your arms up overhead and reaching your toes away for a full body stretch as you take a big breath in. As you exhale, go heavy. Bending into the knees, placing the soles of the feet onto the mat. Rolling over onto one side, using your bottom arm as a pillow. Taking a breath here.